Hey guys, it's Spooky Noodles, and I'm a little bit sad today. I had a little bit of a depression spell, but I'm feeling better, or a little better. I'm still a little sad, but that doesn't ever really go away, but I'm feeling a little better. I got my pizzazz back, and I was able to write, let's see here, 1,200 words. I mean, it's something. At least I wrote something down today. There's a lot of days where I don't write anything down. So if I could write 1,000 words a day, that'd be awesome. I'd be getting somewhere. But it's not good. I don't think it's good at all. I'd like to write at least like 5,000 words a day. That's where I would like to be, but it's just not possible right now with the way I've been feeling. But this is going to be a writing vlog, and I want to tell you guys what I'm really kind of doing. Got my dog right next to me, so she's being very good today. Very good dog. I'm sorry, my medicine's still kicking in. I take Adderall, so I'm a little out of focus, but I'll manage through. Basically what I wrote today is just a bunch of science mumbo jumbo that I basically created myself. I did a little bit of research and then took some keywords from my research and put them in my story. No way is it actually science, but I'm trying to my best to make my one science teacher sound smart. And it's kind of hard because I'm not smart, so trying to make a character a little bit smart is a little bit rough because, like I said, I'm not the smartest guy. So yeah, but I'm getting there. I wrote 1,200 words, and all of it's, like I said, a bunch of science mumbo jumbo. I think so far my favorite character in my story is probably Sheriff. Because even though this is basically like a skeleton of a story right now, it's a rough draft. And right now I've basically only created the skull. And I still have the rest of the body to go, bone-wise. I still have like 250 pages I want to write. Or 150 pages I want to write. Because I want my book to at least be 250 pages long. Right now it's at 101 pages long. And it's at 30,100 and 200, 1,200 words. 30,000, 1,200 words. And it's going well. Sorry, Lula's making a face and it's kind of cute. She got her teeth showing. She looks kind of like a vampire and her paws are sticking in the air. So that's so adorable. Yeah. So writing's going okay. I've been looking for college courses so I can learn more. I've been looking on YouTube a little bit for writing advice. A lot of it's just a bunch of people who've never written a book saying things like there's not a lot of advice for horror books. I hope one day when I become pretty decent at writing horror, I'm going to make some videos so that will change, because people who want to write horror, want advice too. So, and there's common writing advice, like how to write a book in 3 easy steps and stuff like that, but none of it's easy. It takes a lot of hard work to write a book, a lot of brain power, a lot of skill too. Like, you gotta be good at storytelling, and one thing I'm good at is, well, 2 things I'm good at. Dialogue. My teacher told me so. So I'm hanging on to that, the one thing, because I'm very proud that I'm actually okay at something. So, holding on to it, and I'm gonna spread it everywhere I go. I'm gonna, run down the streets and say, I'm great at writing dialogue. Because a lot of people struggle with that, and that's one factor that I'm actually good at. So, My story definitely needs more dialogue though, so I need to take that skill of mine and amp it up. So, but that's besides the point. The one thing I'm really good at is like, so I'm like one of those people who, like, I'm not witty. What I mean by not witty is that I can't like in the moment I can't say something funny, smart, witty, and it's really something that I wish I could do. But after the matter, I'm really good at thinking what would have been funny. You know what I mean? So when I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, that would have been funny. And then the whole scene plays in my head again, and it's basically working it out. So I can write like cool scenes, and it makes sense, and what's the word I'm looking for? I can make a scene flow because I overthink things, and I'm able to basically just write out a whole scene. And I think I don't quote me at all, or don't think of this as cocky, because I'm not cocky at all. I'm like the opposite of cocky. But I like to think that some people have a skill, excuse me, and that skill is being able to write stories. And that skill has a lot of sub skills. You know, like Stephen King has the sub skill of being able to write tomes, and he can write tons of tomes. He can write tons of short stories. He can write tons of stories in general. He's just got all the writing skills that you need as a writer to be good and famous. Like for me, for instance, I have the writing skill, but it's like I have that writing talent, but it's not strong at the moment. Like it needs to go to the weight room and lift weights and get bulked up, you know. It's just like, I'm really bad at metaphors. It needs to my strengths need to be strengthened, if that makes any sense. Like, I have the storytelling talent, but I need to take that talent and work at it and make it better. You know, it's like a muscle, and the more you use the muscle, the greater and stronger it becomes. At least that's what I think. If not, then the metaphor is totally ruined. But the more you use it, the better it becomes. It's like your brain. The more you use it, the better it is. The more you learn, the more you know. So I have the writing talent, but the skill isn't there yet. I need to work on my writing. I need to take my strengths and strengthen them, and take my weaknesses and strengthen them, if you know what I mean. But everyone has, like, I'm not gonna say everyone, because there's probably some people out there that don't have any talents, and I'm sorry for you guys. I'm not being cocky and saying I have talents, because I literally have none. Like, writing is probably the only talent I have. It's not really a good talent right now because I haven't really strengthened it, you know? It's not really good. Like, there's all these subcategories of writing that I need to strengthen. Like, I only have the writing talent. I can write a story. That's it. Everything else I need to work on in order to become a writer. You know, not even a good writer, just a writer. Because once you write your first book, or at least your first rough draft, that's when you can consider yourself a writer. Then you work on the drafts, and then eventually you're no longer aspiring at all, you're just a writer, and that's where I want to be. But it's besides the point. Where was I going with this? Everyone has a talent, and I happen to have a writing talent. And a lot of people have talents. Like, my brother's really good at, well, he's got a lot of talents. He's really smart, and he's really good at video games. He's good at his job. He's just really good at some things. There's some things he really is bad at, like penmanship. He can't write and draw. He lacks that ability. I don't want to say fine motor skills, but yeah, kind of. But what I'm saying is some people have that writing talent, and when they work at it, it can become amazing. Like Dan Simmons, for instance. Like I said, just because you can write, I've said this before, just because you can write great books and great stories doesn't make you smart. And that's one thing I need to remember, is just because you're a writer doesn't mean you're smart. Because I see a lot of dumb people out there that can write really great stories. And I don't mean to be rude, and I don't mean to, I don't want to say this. I don't want to be rude. I'm not saying Dan Simmons is stupid in any sense at all. But I'm not saying he's the smartest guy either. And again, I don't want to be rude, and I know I'm going to come across as rude, and I'm sorry. I know I just can't help it. I have an opinion, and I'm going to share it. I don't think Dan Simmons is the smartest person alive. But he's got a talent, and he's strengthened that talent, and he's really good at what he does. You get my gist? Like I said Stephen King before. I mean, he's a very smart guy, but there's some things that he doesn't know, like for instance, reptiles. He probably doesn't know much about reptiles. I, on the other hand, know a little bit about reptiles. So, does that make him dumb? No. Does that make me smart? No. That just means I know a lot of something, you know? I don't know if Stephen King's smart. I don't know that. I just said he's smart, but I really don't know. He knows a lot, and he has a talent. So those two things go together very well. Dan Simmons knows a lot, but that doesn't make him smart. Peter Tonkin, for instance, he wrote Killer, and he knows a lot about, like, ships and water devices and whales and stuff like that. And he uses what he knows, uses his talent, creates something out of what he likes, and made a story called Killer by, well, himself, Peter Tonkin. And I'm really going on a tangent here. But I'm trying to get my point across to an audience that's not really listening. No offense, guys. If you're listening, awesome. You guys are the real ones. I love my subscribers and viewers. Your guys are awesome. But what am I saying? Getting off topic again. So basically, my whole thing is this. Everyone's got a talent, and some people have the writing talent. And I'm a firm believer that I have that talent. Now, it's hard to say I have it and prove it, because I haven't written a book yet. And my short story collection does not count as a book, to me, in my opinion. Because some people are like, well, you've written a book. You have your short story collection. And I'm like, that's different, you know? Writing short stories is a skill. I won't take anything away from that, because I'm really good at writing short stories. Getting to the point is one of the things I love to do. In fact, my version of a book is probably just one long short story. And what I mean by that is like each section is, the book is going to be in sections. Like, here's a short story about a kid and his friend going to the mall. Section number 2. Kid and his friend are at the mall and get hit by bullies. Section 2. Like each one is a short story in itself. It's like many short stories connecting together to make one big book. That's not a collection of short stories, but they're all intertwined and have the same subject matter, same characters, blah blah blah. That's what, to me, that's how I write. I basically am writing many stories that coagulate, no. What's the word I want to use here? Correlate? See, this is why I'm not a good writer. But I have the talent, is what I'm saying. The writing talent's there. It just needs to be, like I said before with my really bad analogy, I keep saying metaphor, and I don't know if that's right. I think it's analogy. And if it's the other way around, if I'm second guessing myself and I'm wrong, I apologize to myself, my family, for raising an idiot. But anyways, my talent needs to go to the gym and work out and become stronger at certain skills. And one of the ways I want to strengthen that talent is by going to classes at universities. The closest university to me, I believe, is Oakland University. So that's what I've been looking at. I've been trying to find classes that are happening next year for writing prompts or writing creative writing or whatever, how to write a book. I'm just looking for that class so I can sign up and purchase the class or whatever I have to do, and I can go do it. Because I don't want to be one of those people and say this is a dream of mine, but it's definitely something I want to achieve as when it comes to goals. Like, I have goals and I passed a lot of them this year. Like 3 goals. Well, at the beginning of the year, like right now, this upcoming year, one of my goals is going to be like to lose weight, because I gained a lot of weight this year, and that's mostly because I'm more happy. And when I'm happy, I eat. So when I'm sad, I don't eat. Does that make sense? So the more happy I am, the more I gain weight. So it's just weird like that. When I'm really depressed, I lose a lot of weight. And I just fluctuate a lot with weight. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say, what am I trying to say? What was I saying? My goals for next year are, I'm gonna take some of the goals from this year and try to do them next year. But I had like goals like one of my goals, here's 2 goals I did not succeed this year. I wanted to get one story of mine into a anthology. And I worked my ass off all year long trying to get one story into an anthology. And it really wrecked my confidence a lot. Because, and I'm gonna tear up, dang it. Because, like, it made me feel like I wasn't good enough. Because my writing, like, I feel like I did great with some short stories. And when I share them with people, like family, they'll say it's good no matter what. They don't know what they're looking at, and they don't know what to judge it by, so they read it and they think they're fine. It's fine. My mom's very, like, she'll go and point out flaws that are either there or not there. She doesn't really know that much. I'm not saying she's smart, don't get me wrong, but she doesn't know much about writing, so when she reads my story, she just says, "Oh, why do you use a semicolon?" You know, and it's like, well, now I gotta tell her why, and that's just, I barely know why, so, and I know I use a lot of semicolons in my writing, and I should probably stop that. I use a lot of, I don't use enough dashes, probably, but this is all stuff that I'm hoping to get better at. I have characters like say what they're doing instead of doing what they're doing. You know, that's another problem of mine. But besides the point, one of my goals was to get a story into an anthology, and I failed miserably. I had to have sent multiple stories to multiple different editors, or not editors, but what do you want to call it? Publishers? No, that's not right. Basically, I sent it to the people who are working on their certain anthology. So I sent like my stories. Like, I think there was a total of 6 short stories I was sending out. It just depended on what the anthology was about, and if I had a story that did with it, then I would send it out to them. So I had about like 6 short stories I worked on really hard. I paid a lot of money to get those edited, and they're short stories. So, spending money on short stories feels like it doesn't feel needed or necessary, but it is necessary for me since my grammar isn't on point. If, like, my grammar, like, it's not bad. It's better than the average, but it's still not good. And even though it's better than most, it's not the greatest. And I know I can get better, but that's why I use editors. They help correct that. And, yeah. So there's not any editing problems, and that's one of my friends' beefs, is that a lot of indie authors don't get their stuff edited, and so it comes out as grammar error garbage, and he doesn't like it, and I understand what he's saying. I give everyone a chance, but I really believe in editing, and I just hate for someone to not like my story just because of a grammar error. So that's why I get them heavily edited. Like, I'll have the editor edit it once. I'll put my input in and maybe change a few things, then get a second edit. And that's when they edit their own shit. Like, when they miss something, or they realize they edited something wrong or something like that, they fix it, and that's when the story should be perfect. Then I send that out to a publisher, a company that is working on an anthology. Send it out to them, and I got a lot of letters saying, like, thank you for your time, thank you for letting us read your story, but we decided to go into a different direction. We decided not to go with your story. Or they were very nice about it, of course, but it still stings because I just wanted one story. I don't care about the money at all. I just want a story of mine to be put into an anthology. Now, here's a technicality. I don't care about the money, but to succeed in my goal of getting a story into an anthology, I have to be paid for it. So I did kind of succeed at the goal, in a sense that I have had my story into an anthology. Books of Horror, the Facebook group, is making an anthology with RJ Rolls and I can't think of the other person who's editing the book, but they're coming out with a anthology, just the Books of Horror anthologies. I think that's what it's called. They already have a cover, and it looks pretty cool. It has a little girl with her eyes all white, and she has an open book, and it just says Books of Horror anthology on it. And all the authors from Books of Horror are sending in their stories for this free anthology that basically no one's getting paid for it, which kind of stinks, but I mean, it's a free anthology, so I totally get it, and there's people editing it, so on top of my editing, they're gonna do their edits, so my story is gone through the ringer, and I've seen my mistakes, which hurt, but I know that I make mistakes, so I love to see them corrected, and I learn from them. That's the best part, is I learn from my mistakes, and that's the only way I can become better, or only way I learn how to do things is I make mistakes and I learn from them. That's what my job before. I got good at what did at my old job, but it happened because of a lot of consistent failures or problems, or I don't know what you want to call them, but errors. Like I made a lot of mistakes, and I learned from them. And every time I learned, I didn't make that mistake again. Well, maybe every once in a while I made the same mistake because I forget or something like that, but that's not besides the point. But I did get a story into an anthology, but since I'm not getting paid for it, it doesn't technically make the goal or complete the goal. I really wanted to get my name. Like, I know I'm never gonna be like Keelan Patrick Burke, Ronald Kelly, Stephen King. Definitely never like Stephen King, but I just wanna have my name on a book, you know. An anthology would be cool, but it just didn't happen this year. And that's gonna be a goal for next year, to get my name on an anthology, or a story into an anthology. And the other goal that I had this year was to write a book. And obviously I have like, what, a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe, I can't even recall what day it is. There's like 31 days in December or something like that, and we are on like the 22nd. So actually I can tell we have one week and 3 days. So I'm not finishing this book in a week. So it's not gonna happen. But I feel like that I underestimated the goal by far. I thought it was going to be easier than it was. I thought I had the, I don't want to say skills, but I thought I had the ability to write something longer, because I write short stories all the time, so I figured it's just one long short story. How hard can it be? And it's very hard. Although I've made it to 101 pages, which I think is excellent, because before I'd start a story or a novel and I get to the 40-page mark and quit. I have at least 2, maybe 3 stories that made it to the 40-page mark and then stopped. I even have a short story that got really long and is around 86 pages, but I hit a brick wall and I don't like where I went with it, so I really got to edit it, and it's just, it needs fixing. So the only thing I have that's going for me that's a little bit of a success story is my story, or I'm going to call it a story for now because it's not a book yet. It could be a novella once I'm finished. I don't know how long it's going to be. Technically a novel is 50 to 60,000 words. 50,000 words to 60,000 words, that is, not 50 words. 50,000 words to 60,000 words or up. And then like around like, I think like 80,000 words, it's like considered a tome, I think. I don't know. That's something I'll never fathom. I'll never write a tome. I don't have the ability to do that. But wow, I'm done talking for a while. Y'all are my therapist. I got a burp. Sorry, guys. Excuse me. But goals I did succeed is I wrote a short story collection. A collection of short stories. And I finished it with a football horror story, which I think is silly, but it's not really supposed to be taken seriously. I mean, there's a few stories in it that I think are pretty good. I had to rewrite a lot of the stories because a lot of them were in first person, and I don't want to say I have OCD, but if I did, my OCD does not let me have scattered like third to first person stories. They all have to be either third or first person, and so I changed my first person narratives to third person narratives, and they all needed to be edited. So I'm going to go and send my collection of short stories to be edited. And once it's edited, I'm going to get it formatted. And once it's formatted, I'm going to sell it. And that's so. Here's a list of goals I have for next year: releasing my short story collection, writing a book, and getting a story into an anthology and get paid for it. It don't matter how much. It could be royalties, it could be $20, it could be 3 cents per word. I would love anything. Just to be an aspiring author, you have to make, or to be a author or a writer, you have to have sold your story. And I've only sold one story, and I've never seen it ever become something, and like it never went into fruition. Like it never became anything. And it's a shame. Was it good? No. But I've gotten better since then. And the one thing I'm very thankful is that Craig Groshek from Chilling Tales for Dark Nights gave me a chance and added me to his Dead Canary writing group. Did I write a lot for them? No. I wrote maybe one story, and they used my story Portal in the Woods, but that had my name on it, not Dead Canary. But they did say the new member of Dead Canary, so I guess technically they used 2 of my stories. Or, well, they used one story, and they paid me for another they never used. But I have to thank Craig Groshek and the Chilling Tales for Dark Nights team for letting me get my start. They really made me feel special, and they helped me realize that I have a talent, which before I never thought I had a talent, and this has taken forever for me to get to this point, but this is what I'm trying to drive at, is that I did not think I had a talent, and I do, and I'm trying to get better at it. I'm trying to make it better. I want my talent to be a skill. So I just want to thank, like I said, I want to thank Craig Groshek and Chilling Tales for Dark Nights team for my start. My short story collection will come out sometime next year, I promise. I have stories in it that I've posted online before, like the dog napper is in this story. If you want a taste of what I got, go type in on YouTube Nicholas Gray, the dog napper, one word, and you will find a few narrations, maybe 2 narrations, 3 narrations maybe, and just click on one of those narrations, because I don't think one bad narrator narrated the story. Dr. Creepin narrated it. Darkness Tales narrated it. I don't know if he's still making videos or not. And Chilling Tales for Dark Nights narrated it. Although I paid them to narrate it, which is kind of weird. You don't really pay people to do stuff like that, but I did. Because I really wanted to hear the story. And they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. I did catch a mistake I made, and I learned from it. But Vertical and what's the other word I'm looking for? The word's gone. But Vertical and this other word are different. Vertical is, I think, up and down, and then there's side to side. So I say vertical in my story, but I mean side to side. So I made that one mistake, and no one caught it. Not the editor, not Chilling Tales for Dark Nights, not me, obviously, but my brother caught it when he was listening to the audio book, or the narration. And I find it shocking that no one caught it. But yeah, it's a problem, and I fixed it. So Dog Napper is fully edited, and it's in my short story collection. So if you want to hear something, go check that out. Like I said, Nicholas Gray, the Dog Napper. You will find like 3 narrations, Um, that's all I can recall. Another story I wrote is called, now, this is probably a bad one. It's not the greatest story I've ever written. I'm trying to improve it still. I improved it a little bit, but it still has a major flaw that I'm trying to fix. That I'm trying to fix it before I release it. But it's like I said, it's done. The collection's done. But if I want to nitpick, I still want to. If I were to nitpick, that one story, Chilean Centipede, is one that I would nitpick the fuck out of. The ending is just horrible. But I'm putting it in my collection because it's like 16 pages long, and I worked my ass off with that story. I had an idea. The characters are good. Dialogue's okay. Story, though, the bad guy, or whatever you want to say, the monster, and the reason for everything, it just needs some work. And it's got a little sci-fi twist to it. So if you're into sci-fi horror, it's kind of in that little subgenre. It's called Chilean Centipede by Nicholas Gray, and only one guy has narrated it. I won't let no one else narrate it because, and of course, I get my short story collection narrated by someone, but it's just not a great story. But I worked really hard on it, so it deserves. It doesn't deserve, but it needs a spot in this collection, if anything, for someone to see the story and see how much I improved. So I should put it in the front of the store, their collection, but I don't want people to read the first story and be like, this dude sucks. So I put like one of my best stories first, and then like in the middle I have the Chilean Centipede. So I tried to put the best stories up front. I did save one good story for last. I have a few okay stories, but the one story that I know no one's gonna like is Chilean Centipede. But if you want to see, what I have to offer, Dog Napper or Portal in the Woods by Nicholas Gray, type one of those into YouTube. You will come up with a few narrations for each of them. A lot of people narrated Portal in the Woods. It was an original tale. I don't think anyone's made no one before I wrote it did something like this. And as soon as I made a story called Portal in the Woods, about 7 stories popped up on YouTube called like Portal in the Forest, Portal in my backyard, Portal in my dog's asshole. Like, it was just crazy. It was Portal this, Portal that, and I got really annoyed that people took my story. They didn't feel it was good enough, so they took my story and added their own twist to it, which is cool. But like, my favorite narrator thinks I'm the one that copied someone, because they're narrating a story called Portal in the Forest. Mine's called Portal in the Woods. He won't narrate mine, but he narrated the guy who copied me. So that's really frustrating, but it's besides the point. Really getting off topic here. I don't even remember what I started talking about. You want to check what I have to offer, I would suggest Portal in the Woods by Nicholas Gray or The Dog Napper by Nicholas Gray. If you want to see how much I've improved, go check out the Chilean Centipede. And you know what? I probably will leave a link in the description of all my narrated stories. Not all of mine, because I want someone to buy my book and have an original tale to read. But if you want to see what I have to offer, like I said, check those other stories. But if you want to see how much I've improved, check out my earlier work, Chilean Centipede by Nicholas Gray. Only one guy's narrated it. That's Darkness Tales. It's like 2 parts. The first part's like 45 minutes long. The second part's like 13 minutes long. It's not a bad story at all. It just has a whack ending. And I'm not proud of the ending at all. I wish I could have. It was the longest story I've ever written at that point in my life. Like, it happened earlier this year. I wrote it. It happened around February when I first learned that I like writing. I learned that I like writing at the end of last year, 2018. Like around November time in 2018, I learned that I like to write. Then this whole year I've been practicing and learning. So if you want my earlier work, go check out Chway and Centipede by Nicholas Gray. Like I said, only guy has narrated it. That's Darkness Tales. I'm so sorry for if I keep repeating myself. But I'm one track pony right now. One track mind. Not one track pony. So yeah, just if anything, go check out those 2 videos first, and then check out Chway and Centipede, and you can see how much I've improved as a writer. Before I couldn't write more than 16 pages. Like, I got winded writing Chway and Centipede. Oh, why'd you hit my computer, baby girl? I got winded, and I just lost the energy, and I didn't have it in me to write more. So the story had a whack ending because I really didn't know how to end it. It actually probably could be longer. Probably could be turned into a book, but I'm not gonna go that far. I think I wrote where I want to leave it. I fixed a big problem in the story, and you know what? I will discuss that a little bit here. The big problem with the story was the fact that he just magically knows something. I won't tell you what because you should listen to it. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you get to that point. He just magically knows something. And there's no reason or no rhyme or reason for it. He just knows it's a fact. And that's a problem because there's no evidence that would lead to that conclusion. So I went in, made some adjustments, like a car. I got under the story and, just worked my way through it, and I fixed it, but still the ending is the same, and the ending's not bad. The flaw has been fixed, but yeah. Like I said, I'll leave those 3 stories in the description. Maybe I'll throw in an extra story. I did write a Christmas story, so maybe I will put that in the description because it is December, and it would be cool. The story I wrote has Krampus in it, and it's very short. It's like 8 minutes long, the narration. And I highly suggest you check it out because it's actually not bad. Slumber Reads read it, I think. Slumber Reads and Darkness Tales. Me and just a heads up, me and Darkness Tales were almost friends. Like, we were very close. Like, I sent him every story of mine, and he narrated every story of mine. He's a really good guy. I don't think he's making videos anymore, which is a shame because he had a really good voice. He narrated good. He was a good narrator. Excuse me. And it's a shame that he's not on YouTube anymore, I don't think. I think the last time he posted something was like a month ago. And before that, it was like a month or 2. There was a long space between videos, and he felt bad for not posting more, and then he posted a video and then went ghost again. So maybe I can get more comfy here. My room is a mess, so don't judge me. Oh, I just kicked my dog in the face. Let me get crisscross applesauce. And let me get off the bed. Or on the bed. Alright, sorry guys. I mean, I know I didn't move much, but it's much more comfy. My legs were hanging off the edge, and one leg was falling asleep, so this position's better for me. I do look fatter though, so maybe it's not better for me. There we go. Yeah, me and Darkness Tales made a lot of. What's the word? Yeah, the word was there as soon as I went to say it, and then I lost it. We worked together, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I would make a story, I'd send it to him, he would narrate it. It was I gotta thank him and Chilling Tales for Dark Nights. Darkness Prevails and Chilling Tales for Dark Nights really got my start. Those two guys really helped me a lot. I'll leave links to their channels. You should know who Chilling Tales for Dark Nights is. If you don't know, now you know, homie. If you don't know who Darkness Tales is, I totally understand that. He was a great narrator, and he narrated like a lot of stories. He has a lot of cool short videos, that you should watch. Like he has like actual like really good directed movies, well, short movies like on YouTube. There was this one about a radio that like killed a guy. I don't really remember how it worked out, but he, you know, even though he doesn't make anything anymore, I suggest you go watch him, and maybe you can find some videos you didn't listen to before. But yeah, if you want, I won't repeat myself again. Nicholas Gray. Just type in Nicholas Gray and then either Portal in the Woods, The Dog Napper, and if you want to see how much I've improved, watch one of those videos, then watch Chihuahuan Centipede, of course, by Nicholas Gray. You will find that I made a lot of an improvement. I mean, before I could not write more than 16 pages. Now I'm attempting to write a book, and I'm at 101 pages. So that in itself, I know it doesn't mean much to you guys, but it's very impressive for me, being just who I am. A little bit of a backstory for me. I don't mean to be like, I don't want you to make this seem like a sob story, because, you know, in general, I wasn't the greatest person back in the day. So don't feel bad for me. But my family, in the beginning, my family was wealthy. We lived in Michigan, and life was fine. Something happened, and my family split apart. We moved to Cali. We tried to fix things, but it didn't work out. And then Cali really bit us in the ass, because even though we were wealthy in Michigan, the wealth didn't transfer to California. Their new jobs didn't go well, and they lost them. And basically, that'd be a sign of things to come, a repetitive thing. My parents would get a job, they'd lose a job, we'd move, we'd get a job, lose a job, move. It happened a lot. So my education was not there at all, like switching curriculums over and over and over again. Each state, I mean, hell, sometimes each different school, like every different school, or every new school is what I'm trying to say. Every new school had a different curriculum. And it was always different. I never got to learn anything. So, and in a second, I'll tell you one thing that's really cool. But we moved around a lot, and my education was affected. I did not get to learn a lot in school, and basically everything I know is from me looking it up on the internet, and learning from trial and error. So I know I'm not a great writer, but I'm better than average, and at least I think I am. I don't mean to be cocky at all, don't think that. But coming from where I came from, having zero education, because I moved around so much and I was sick a lot of the time too. Me being sick, I missed a lot of days, plus moving around a lot, just really screwed up with my education. And so when one of my goals for this year was to pass my GED. I passed it. I did something the doctors never thought I'd do, and that is get a general education diploma or a high school diploma. They didn't think I was smart enough to do that. They didn't think I had the brain or the capability to do that. In fact, they didn't think I'd be able to tie my shoes. So the fact that I made it over one of the biggest hurdles of my life is amazing. I know it's nothing to you guys. In fact, probably some of you guys think that this is actually the opposite of success. You would probably think this is a failure, that I'm a failure, that getting my GED is not something to be proud of. I dropped out of school. I'm deserved nothing but the worst. Blah blah blah. I know a lot of smart people who got their GEDs. I mean, hell, I think Einstein got his GED. Not my dog, the mathematician. The guy who, relativity and all that stuff. E equals mc squared. Edward Loren, my buddy, his YouTube channel. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he might have his GED. I don't know. I know there was one writer. I don't know if it was Edward Loren or someone else. But someone told me they got their GED, and I thought that was amazing because that dude knows a lot, and he was a great writer. So I thought it was Edward Loren, but I might be wrong. So the fact that I got my GED, that was one of my biggest goals of the year. It would go GED, get a story in an anthology, then write a book. And I failed the two, but I succeeded at the most important one. When I had my New Year's resolutions, I didn't really have resolutions, I just had goals. And like I said, the 3 goals were those goals. And I succeeded at getting my GED, which is amazing. It doesn't matter how close it was, because really it was very close. I needed a 145 score to pass. And with math, I got a 146, so I passed by 2 points. Does it matter? No, I got my GED, so that's all that matters. I'm getting the diploma soon. It should arrive sometime this week, and I'm gonna frame that shit, or make a copy and frame that shit. Wow, 53 minutes. Y'all don't want to watch this video, trust me. It's me rambling. I might have to cut some shit out. I don't want to do that, but I might have to. This is a really mix of a video. I want to say I'm sad, but I'm proud of myself at the same time. I've done a lot this year. I've had a lot of failures this year, not getting my story in an anthology really sucked because I got a lot of... It's not that I didn't send my work in. I sent my work in a lot, and I got declined a lot. A lot of people just didn't get back to me, so the wait was killer, and then they never responded. So that hurt. It hurt when I got my decline letter. But a lot of writers before me, people get declined because, well, they're no names. And another reason they get declined is they're not that great. So the more I improve, the better it will be. As soon as I release a book and people buy my book, and hopefully if they like it, my name will at least be known. And then maybe people will be like, "Yeah, that's the guy who wrote Symbiotic. Let's see what he got. Oh, he's actually has an okay story. Let's put it in our anthology." But right now, an okay story doesn't cut it if you don't have a name. Names sell. Even if Stephen King wrote a story about a fart that killed everyone, people would buy that shit because people want to read Stephen King. So they would accept a Stephen King short story if it was bad or not. But if I wrote the greatest short story ever, it wouldn't matter because I'm a no-name writer. And I'm not trying to be like cocky or anything. I'm not saying my writing's great. I'm just saying that here, let me take your leash off, baby girl. Oh, don't shake. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get her leash off. There we go. What I'm trying to say, what was I trying to say? A lot of good authors have GEDs. Check. Where was I going with this? I hate when I get off topic, and I hate when I lose my train of thought. Especially when I just forget what I was talking about altogether. I know I'll watch this and be like, idiot! That's what you were talking about. I'm a no-name writer. That's where I was. So not a lot of people are gonna buy my shit or accept my shit because I'm no-name. That's why books matter. To write books, to write short story collections, that shit is gonna be big time in the long run because then people will know my name. Names spread like wildfire sometimes. Like Keelan Patrick Burke. I don't think anyone knew who he was till Edward Loren, or some people other than Edward Loren. Like a lot of people just picked up this dude. Like after one review, everyone picked him up, and now he gets accepted anytime he sends a short story in. Basically, he's a good-looking dude too. But that's besides the point. I'm not jealous at all. I swear. But it's hard to get that start. You need, like, Keelan Patrick Burke, I think, wrote like 5 stories before he probably got accepted for an anthology. I'm guessing. I don't know. You don't just get accepted, right away. You have to work for it, and I am putting in the work. I'm just frustrated that it's not paying off yet. And I know, like Ronald Kelly, I think he told me he was declined about 40 times before he got his work into something, or accepted into something. And he's a very, very talented writer, so, that's just, makes me humble a little bit. Or not humble, but I acknowledge that it's gonna be rough and tough and hard. All things that mean the same thing. It's gonna be difficult getting my name into something. And I need to plug my computer in. Oh shit! Come on, plug in. Sorry guys. Yeah, it takes a lot of work to get your name known. And I'm very happy for the start I got. People believed in me when I didn't give them a reason to believe in me. And now those people who believed in me, like, look at me now. But I'm not saying I'm anything now, but I've come a long way, and I have a long way to go. I think that's basically the whole, this is the longest writing vlog I've ever made. So strap in if you're actually watching this. I apologize if you've made it this far. You should have probably clicked off this video a long time ago. I don't know what to say. Like, the more I talk, the more I don't know, feel better. Sometimes I feel worse. I mean, very conflicting emotions right now. I didn't succeed at my goals this year except for my GED. I've actually had a lot of failures over goals, The only thing I really, if I were to sum this year up, the only good thing that happened this year was my GED. This year is a take it or leave it year. The biggest things that happened to me is my writing career, or, well, if you want to call it a career. I mean, it's only been a year. I've only been reading books for 2 years, so like hardcore reading. Like I've read before. I know how to read. You know, it's not like I just discovered reading, but like when I was like 16 or 15, I read Carrie for the first time. I loved it. But that's besides the point. I just this year the two things that happened is I learned that I love to write. I wrote, and I got my GED. Bad things this year, which I shouldn't even talk about or reflect on, but I lost my job. I lost my license. Beginning of the year, I think I lost a very important person to me. Not dead. They didn't die. We broke up. Don't get it twisted. We just broke up. I'm not sure if that happened this year or last year, but the effects of it still live on today. That breakup really hurt me, and I'm still getting over it now. In fact, I don't think I can even have a relationship right now because I still consider myself broken from it. It's gonna be a while before I can date again. But I don't really need a girlfriend. I apologize for that. My thing cut out, and I realized I got way off topic anyways. Basically, to sum up my last thought, I had a breakup. It really hurt me, and I'm getting over it now. And not much to really say other than, things happen. And I was immature at the time, and now I'm more mature, which happens with age, obviously. And if you know me, you know that I had some issues with my birth. I had a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, and that affected me greatly. I have tics. Doctors think I have autism. I don't believe them, but they believe that I do, like high functioning autism. I don't believe it, but it is what it is. But basically, I'm like 3 years behind. So even though I am 26, I probably got the brain of a 22, 23-year-old. Because I had a speech impediment, and I was deaf for the first year or two. So I didn't learn to talk till I was like 3 or 4. So, my sister was speaking almost before I was speaking. So, so, like I said, I'm 26 now. I've matured a lot since my breakup. But it still affects me to this day. I still feel lonely. I still feel like I'll never find, before I was a big romantic and I believed in the one. Now I know better. There is no such thing as the one. There's many people out there that are suitable for certain people. People can just exist and coexist together and work fine together. But there's no such thing as the one, which I thought I found the one, but she ended up, we actually broke up twice. The first time we dated for 8 months, and then we broke up. Then we dated for 4 months, and then she broke up and I went off the deep end. I'm still recovering, but I'm just about there. I think I've like, and the things, if I were to talk about the things I'm proud of from 2019, my writing is 1, my GED is 2, and learning to, I don't want to say love myself, but to exist, I guess. Before I didn't really see any purpose of existing. I had one person I existed for, and that was it. I was fine with that, and I really needed to learn how to love myself before I love others. That was a hard lesson to learn. I wasn't ready for love, and I had someone that meant a lot to me, but they didn't feel the same way. So, things happen and breakups happen and blah blah blah. Blah, 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 blah. Things happen, man. Come a long way is what I'm trying to say. My writing is getting better. I'm getting better as a person. And yeah, I've had this. I don't want to say this year was a waste. Losing my job was a big failure for me. I gotta sneeze. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. I failed a lot this year. I lost my job. I lost my license, and I didn't get a story in an anthology. Things I succeeded with, I started a book, and I got my GED, and I learned to accept myself. Not love myself, but accept myself. Two different things. I don't think I'll ever love myself per se. I just don't like who I am as a person. I don't like who I was as a person, and I still think that person I was still exists. So, he's just hiding right now. But he comes out and people see the worst of me. But I keep him deep down and I don't let him out very often. But he exists, and yeah, don't know where I'm going with this. I'm not a good person. Try to be as nice as I am, or as I can be now, because I mostly feel bad because I don't know when this happened in my life, but there was an happened and it altered who I am as a human being. Now I'm almost sorry for my existence, and I'm trying to accept myself more, like love myself, I should say, because I've accepted myself. But I'm trying to love myself, and that's hard. And I want to get into a relationship. I want to be independent. I want to do all these things by my own self, but I'm not there yet. My family's helping me out every step of the way. Probably helping me a little bit too much. I should probably have more independence, but they're worried about me, and for good reason. But I've improved a lot. So here's some goals I'm gonna set right now before the New Year's. Here's some goals. I'll probably do a whole video where it's more upbeat and I talk about my writing goals for next year. But here's my personal goals for next year. I want to learn to love myself. I want to become independent. And that independent one has a few little like things, like that's a goal, but it has a lot of like mini missions or mini goals. Like, like that's the big boss, and here's all the little bosses I gotta beat to get to that big boss. So I want to be independent. That means I need to get my license back. I need to learn better. Like, I need to learn how to manage my money better, which I'm doing a really good job. I'm spending less money, mostly because I don't have access to my money anymore. But that's a long story. I'm not going to get into it. I hate it, but I get a certain amount of money each week, and I've been saving it. I haven't been blowing through it. The job loss of the job changed things a little bit, but basically I was getting $100 each week. I was blowing it every week. Now I think I can manage my money better. So that's getting my license, managing my money, and being independent means I gotta move out. Be on my own. But that also means fourth thing is get a job. So it's not in order, obviously, because you can't move out and then get a job. You have to have a job and then move out. I know UPS isn't gonna keep me. It's only a seasonal job. It might go through January, but I probably already worked my last day. So it's very sad. I found a friend through that whole seasonal job thing. I don't know if we'll talk after this is all said and done. If we do, that's amazing. I'm so happy. But I feel like I found a friend, but again, maybe he just puts up with me. I don't know. A lot of things, man. But so if I have to put them in order, money management, get my license, get a job, move out. So I guess I'm gonna change my independent goal because it doesn't make much sense. Because if I have to have all these sub goals, then there's no point of having a main goal like that. And I honestly don't know if I'm ready to move out, but I'm 26 years old. I'm gonna turn 27 next year. I'm getting old, and no girl wants to date someone who lives with their mom. So I'm gonna say next year. This year I did something major that I had on my goals for each year. Like since 2012, my goal has been to get my GED each year, and I failed at it. This year I actually succeeded, which is amazing. It blows my mind. Never thought I'd do it. It was just a reoccurring goal that I thought I'd have forever. I succeeded. I got it, and now it makes me more confident that I can complete more goals. So with that confidence, I'm going to be confidently say that my goals for this upcoming year, personal goals, is first to love myself. That's a big one. That's probably number one, to love myself as a human being. Goal number 2 is to move out. Now that's probably going to be later into 2020. I don't know if I'm going to find a roommate. I don't know if I'm going to just live on my own. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I mean, I've technically already moved out twice. I moved into my girlfriend's house. It was kind of in between places. I was like living at my dad's house. I was living at my girlfriend's house, but I mostly lived at my girlfriend's house. That was my headquarters. And then there was me and my sister moved out together. And then eventually my mom moved in with us because she broke up with her boyfriend and needed a place to stay. And then we all decided to move into the house my mom's trying to rebuild, which is why you see all this tape and it's not painted correctly. There's no carpet on the ground. There's just blanks of wood. We're building this house, and so that's the reason why I live with my mom. Because, well, she needed help with building the house. Even though I'm not much of a help, I am here for mostly for moral support. I try to help when I can, or I help when I'm told. But it's gonna hurt everybody, and everyone's gonna think I'm ready for this. But I want to move out. So goal number 1 is to love myself. Goal number 2 is to move out. Well, goal number 1 is to love myself. Goal number 2 is to get a job, because that's a big thing. I really need a job. I don't know. It stresses me out thinking about it. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't know if I'm gonna end up in the same situation as I was in PCS, where I hated my life every day I worked there. But finding a job is important, because you gotta make money somehow to pay the bills, and I want to get a good job, good enough to so I can afford a place on my own. Obviously, managing money is a big deal. That's why that's gonna be like number something on my list. So here we go. Love myself, get a job, get a license, because I think license is a little less important than getting a job, because my sister or Uber can move me back and forth for a little while. So the license is third on the list, then sometime in the year, move out. And if I have to add a fifth goal, I don't know. I can't think of a fifth goal. I'm sorry, baby girl. If I had to think of a fifth goal that has nothing to do with writing, because I will make my own writing video, a writing goal video at the end of the year, or sometime, maybe I'll make it after this. I just want to be more peppy, more happy. You know what? I already said it before. It's probably going to... I'll move it in between 1 and 2, so it will be number 2, and 2 will move down to 3, so... Here we go. Love myself, manage money better, find a job, get my license, move out. That's 5 goals. There we go. So those are my 5 goals. Obviously moving out is going to be hard because not only is it going to be hard emotionally, my family's going to not believe I can do it. They're going to be worried about me every single day because in the past I've had suicidal tendencies, and they're probably going to be worried that I'll fall victim to that same thing. But loving myself is something I need to do before I do any of this stuff, and I believe I can do it because I already accepted myself. I am who I am. And yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be a chore, it's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be hard to move in anywhere because I got a dog and a tortoise. So, I mean, I'll find a place. It's gonna be rough, but I'll find a place. I'll hire dog walkers. I just need to find a good job first. And that's gonna be hard because finding a job. Obviously, I'm a factory worker, so let's see where that takes me. I have no skills at all. At 4.5 years, I learned a skill that I can't take anywhere with me because PCS was the only place in the world, or not in the world, in the U.S. that does what they do. So I've learned a skill that I can't take anywhere. So that sucks. But I have 4.5 years of factory work, so that could help me get somewhere. So we'll see. I have not gotten a call back from any of the jobs I've applied for, but I got my UPS seasonal job, which was pretty good, and I liked it a lot. Unfortunately, I'm losing it, so it's a seasonal job. That's expected. I probably worked my last day, like I said. I told you my 5 goals, right? So what else can I talk about? I think I should just end this video. Yeah, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you watched any of this, cheers to you. I wish I had an alcohol beverage to drink for you guys, like my friend, or well, I want to call him my friend, but my fellow YouTuber does. He toasts to someone before he does a tag or something like that. So I want to toast to you guys. If I had a drink, I'd do it, but I don't. So just pretend I have a drink. I toast to you guys for watching a little bit of this. If you guys even skim through it, that's cool too. I hope you guys have a great day and a spooky night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Now I am become death.